Hey, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer at Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. And happy Friday, guys. So today, let's give a big cheer for local businesses, right? Backbone of America's economy. However, scary trend. There have been 4 million more business deaths than business births in the last decade. It's very troubling. And I think that as a business owner, and I think the U.S. Department of whoever measures this, if you have less than 500 employees, you are considered a small business, and or qualifications related to the number of sales that you have per year, dollar amount of sales per year. But we're talking about small businesses. I think it's interesting to think about what keeps the doors open, who's at risk, and how can we stay on top of our game. And I came across a recent article on Inc.com that I found fascinating, that really was something to think about. And that's kind of what inspired today's video. But what keeps the doors open for local businesses? I think it really boils down to having great service, having great people that provide that service, and having great products, and being able to get the message out to people about those great services, great products, great people, is at the heart of the success for local businesses and how to keep the doors open. Who's at risk? Well, I mean, really it boils down to those businesses who are the gatekeepers of the status quo. Those people are in the greatest threat. They are the greatest threat of failing, because guys, here's the thing. If you think that your industry is too big or your business is too big to fail, ask Blockbuster how things are going, right? Look at what Airbnb has done to, hotel and lodging accommodations. Look what the impact that Uber has had in terms of, vehicles being sold and transportation industry as a whole. So what is all of this about is, guys, the status quo is being challenged left and right, and rightfully so, because, quite frankly, of the internet. I mean, it's the Internet of Things that is a driver of innovation, but it's also us. We are the drivers. We are the ones who are fighting the status quo, because we're like, why does it have to be that I have to have a monthly car payment? Why can't I just pay for a car when I need a car? Or why can't I just pay for a house when I need a house? Why do I have to buy a whole nother vacation house when I can just get a piece of that and, do it differently, right? And so I think that is who is at risk, for those businesses who, sit back and say, well, we're going to just, we're going to maximize our efficiencies. We're not going to really do any innovation when it comes time to the services or products that we provide. So guys, how do we stay on top of our game? I think right now, the thing that I am just most obsessed with is reading about and studying industry disruption, continuing to really kind of expand my knowledge and understanding of industries that are being disrupted, because society has said, hey, there's got to be a different way. There's got to be a better way to meet our demands. So, here's a couple of examples from the article that I found fascinating. Wedding industry, right? Okay, so that's a $76 billion industry in 2017, up $4 billion from 2016. But interesting enough, we as Americans are spending less on wedding planners than we did in previous years. So while there's people are spending more on weddings than they have in the past year by like $4 billion, the wedding planners are getting less money. Well, what's going on? Well, for example, there is The Knot, K-N-O-T, The Knot, like Tie the Wedding Knot app. What does that do? Well, it's an app where there are over 300,000 vendors, DJs, you know, caterers, you know, tents, tables, chairs, you know, all the things that you need with ratings and reviews. And you can go right on the app and you can read the reviews, you can find the person you want, you can book and pay and do everything through the app. Hello, guess who that just cut out? Wedding planners. So, you know, that's an example of an industry that is, you know, we were like, hey, there's got to be a better way. And someone decided, hey, let's use the Internet of Things to connect people and, you know, save them money and let them have more control over their things. So education, oh my gosh, man, how about we need some help, right? Here's a couple. Schoolology, $57 million in funding. It's a portal for teachers, parents, and students to go on to and review, work together, collaborate, and communicate on reconnecting the disconnect between parents and students and teachers and parents. It's huge. Newsella uses AI to transform news articles into age-appropriate reading comprehension materials. It's a fantastic idea, right? Making that information relevant and available for age-appropriate, you know, allowing our students to, you know, age-appropriate students to understand what's happening in the world. I think that's fantastic. I mean, the education world as a whole is desperately in need of renovation and overhaul. I mean, look at Udemy, you know, and online education. I mean, on and on and on with education. Health industry, right? Health screening. Here's a couple of things. A Stanford machine vision program, think AI, now has the ability to distinguish cancerous versus non-cancerous moles at a rate of 90% accuracy, which is higher than some dermatologists in some cases, right? So granted, that's not going to, you know, get away with doctors, and it's not like they're going to be, you know, done away with, but man, that is really disrupting that industry. Freenome is a liquid biopsy that has the ability to detect cancer location and type just from a blood sample. Guys, there is a massive amount of industry disruption taking place, and as small business owners, we need to think about and condition, work out our brain muscles and business development and growth muscles in learning about and knowing what's happening in the space. Look at the law industry. A couple of examples. Case text. It's a one word. It reads briefs and suggests past cases in seconds. Law Geeks, or Law Geeks, Geeks, examines contracts for missing info, troublesome language, and red flags. So there are 4 industries that are all being, you know, really threatened by disruption or the status quo because of the Internet of Things and innovation. So people are saying, why does it have to be this way? We are challenging the status quo. So, you know, I want to applaud local businesses who have, you know, really thought about their industry, products and services, and said, how can we do it better, more efficient, meet the demands, and also consider the Internet of Things to be able to provide the best level of service for our clients. And then being able to get the message out that you've made that switch, you know, using Facebook, using Instagram, using LinkedIn, you know, mass quantity of content being published to meet the demands and grab the attention of those people who desperately need your products and services. I mean, that's what it's really about, you know, and it's not just one thing. It's an integrated grouping and using of all of these different communication verticals and channels to be able to hammer home and, you know, hit the deep bomb and score the touchdown when it comes to reaching your audience and letting them know about the innovation. So guys, it's exciting. It's Friday. The weekend is here. Thank you. We had a great week this week. Thank you for your time. Again, my name is Michael Wynn. I am the Chief Digital Officer at Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. I hope you guys have a great weekend. See you next week.